about, the perspective of the NSCDC. Um, the other is the aspect of disaster mitigation, disaster management, and we all of this mandates we've done creditably, well in ensuring that those mandates are fulfilled. We also have some other mandates, which, of course, aside from the protection of lives and property, we have different specialized units like the agro rangers, and the function of that department is to ensure the protection of agro-allied investments of government, and that of other, you know, well-meaning Nigerians.
Okay.
So basically,
It's just about protection, especially government assets, national assets. Okay. CC, what kinds of threats or practices? You already told us that when it comes to the protection of government's assets, you've done incredibly well. But then we see some of these things happening day in, day out, vandalism of government properties and all that. What's the reason? What's responsible for this anomaly going on despite your efforts in protecting these assets?
Well, thank you, but I want to disagree, with you on that aspect because for us at the NSCDC FCT, protection of critical national asset and infrastructure is very sacrosanct. And when I came on board, I came with that charge from my Commandant General, Dr. Hamid Abubakar Hadi, MNIOFR. The level of vandalism of government property in the FCT was, not really encouraging, and he gave me that charge that I'm sending you there to go make a difference and ensure that critical national assets and infrastructure in FCT is protected, and the aesthetics, of the Federal Capital Territory, being the seat of power, is maintained. And I hit the ground running. And I can tell you for free that since I came on board, a lot of effort have been put in place to ensure that we rid the city, of the menace of these vandals. And I reinvigorated my critical national asset and infrastructure department, and we began 24 hours patrol, morning, afternoon, night.
All over the FCT,
all over the
even
FCT.
the villages, the outskirts.
The suburbs, the outskirts, yes, that's exactly what happened. And that's really yielded a lot of results. And good enough, we have a minister, His Excellency Yesom Wike, who with his background as a former governor, he understands what security is all about. So he was also very instrumental to our success because he gave us, apart from the enabling environment, he helped us with patrol vehicles, which he shared to different security agencies, the police, civil defense, the military, and other security agencies within the FCT. So for us in FCT, at least, I've had delivery of patrol vehicles, twice from the minister. And this has really helped us to increase our visibility, which so far we can attest to it that the level of vandalism of critical national asset in FCT has really gone down. Except you don't want to be fair, on us. It has really gone down. Basically, you cannot completely rid any society of criminality. Even the most advanced countries of the world, they have their own fair share, of all of those things we're talking about. But as far as efforts, determination, resilience is concerned, we have done our bit, and we're not resting on our horse, and because we continue to make arrests on a daily basis. And that has yielded fantastic results.
I'm sure that when we open the lines, people will talk more on this particular issue. Still on this issue of measures, we're coming to the crux of the matter now. What steps is your command taking to improve the state of security in the FCT, you've started mentioning some already, the provision and distribution of vehicles and all that. We'd like to know from the first step to the last what you've done so far in ensuring that live and most importantly, national assets are protected in the FCT.
Yeah, well, like I told you earlier, we are the lead agency in the protection of critical national assets and infrastructure. But when it comes to protection of lives and property in the FCT, we have a robust synergy between and amongst all the security agencies in FCT. We work hand in gloves with the police, with the military, with every other security agency in FCT. So together, because the issue of security or securing the FCT is a multi-stakeholders, activity. So I cannot, allude to the fact that okay, NSCDC have been able to improve security in the FCT collectively. The civil defense and every other agency's security that has been saddled with our responsibility. We have been responsible for the security of FCT, and unlike before. You could tell maybe towards the tail end of 2024, we were overwhelmed with series of cases of kidnapping, one chance, and the rest of that, in the FCT. But with the concerted effort of all of us, I think that has reduced to the barest minimum, and FCT has or is enjoying relative peace as we speak right now compared to how it used to be.
Okay, we got some messages already, so let's take some of them. And then here says, hello, Commandant. I know civil defense is trying, but why is there so much vandalization of government property in Abuja? What are you doing to stop this? Even covers for our gutters will just disappear in the night. My name is Dr. Rufus Uche in Gwarimpa. That's the first that we have here from
Okay.
Dr. Uche Rufus.
All right, Dr. Uche, thank you for the question. I mentioned earlier, and I would like to reiterate that the efforts, put in place to salvage all of this infrastructure in FCT has been ongoing, and like I said, we are not resting, and that is why we continually engage in patrol, all the time, day and night. There is something that we noticed while I came on board. Many of these activities that we call vandalism are being perpetrated by, some group of people who, in the name of scavenging, you see them around town, you see them in the suburb, with their carts, with their bags, and going around the metropolis. That in the disguise that they are picking rubbish and metals and all sorts of items. Now that gave me cause for concern, and I began to monitor and do my proper surveillance, and we discovered that many of them, at the wee hours of the night, when we move within the town, you see them under the bridges and in some isolated places. The whole idea is to create impression that they are destitute. So when the streets are deserted, you see them come up at night, and that is when they perpetrate, most of
So
these
this
heinous crimes.
supposed Bababola.
Yeah, that's exactly who they are. So because having noticed that, then I developed a strategy whereby from that hour, from like 11:30 up until like 2 a.m., we go around the city, all the bridges, and we make sure that we arrested all of them that we were seeing at that ungodly hour of the night. And guess what? Most of them that were arrested, you find different items, different dangerous weapons with them, because they go out with the intention of causing havoc, vandalizing, and destroying. They know definitely in the course of doing that, they can be challenged. And they don't only just vandalize. Some of them at that time, because of the level of the roads are almost deserted, they also attack innocent citizens that are probably coming back from work, at such period of the night, and those who are just going about their social activities. So we're able to arrest a lot of them, and that has given, reduced that level of vandalism. And I did not stop there. Then having noticed that majority of those that we arrested in the course of vandalizing these items, when we investigate, I discovered that many of the items, the manhole covers that we're talking about, that have been stolen, found their way into where we call the Panteka market. That gave me a cause for concern because at different times when we made arrests, we lead them to where they are selling those items to. And I discovered that many of them, about 70% of them, sold these items to the Panteka market. And that gave me, that resolve that, for me to be able to achieve a level of success, we must first and foremost look at the source of the market. Because if there is no demand, there'll be no supply. So we took a very good survey. We did a survey of all the Panteka markets in the Federal Capital Territory, and we discovered, through our undercover activities, that many of them were those encouraging these vandals. Because if you don't buy those items from them, they won't bring it. So, having gotten that result, during our security meeting, I proposed to the Honorable Minister that the level of vandalism, the way it is going, for us to scale it down, we need to look at the root of it. Because whatever we're doing, if we're just arresting them, we're only scratching the surface. And I gave reasons, I made my presentations and gave reasons why we need to regulate the market. Ordinarily, we would have proposed that such market be closed down completely. But because we discovered that there are some genuine people among them who are doing legitimate business, because that market is an open market where all sorts of items, scrap metals, household items, and all of that goes in. Some people tend to renovate their houses and want to sell off all their properties. That is where they sell to. But behind the scenes, there are some of them who are nefarious, who are criminal minded, and those are the ones buying from these people. And to God be the glory, the minister saw reason from that perspective, and he bought the idea. And he called for the regulation of this market. We had a stakeholders engagement with other security agencies, and we were able to profile them. We invited them and we had a series of meetings with them, letting them know the danger and the havoc they are doing to this economy and to the FCT as a whole. And letting them
These Panteka marketers.
Yes, the Panteka market executives.
And so how well has the relationship between the NSCDC been, between the NSCDC and the Panteka marketers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, right, at the end of the day, we are able to convince and let them understand that they also have a role to play. So as we speak, they are currently, our searchlights are currently on them. All the Panteka markets executives and the traders, they have been profiled. And we have made it known to them. On no account should any government property find their way into the market. In fact, when we conducted a combined raid with the police and other security agencies, the military, you'll be amazed that the items we recovered from the Panteka market ran over R1 billion. A lot different types of manhole covers, boldly inscribed federal government, FCT. So you'll be amazed that this kind of items we complain, but these people who are running the market, they are Nigerians as well, and you can tell boldly that this item belongs to the government. Why would you? So it was until we began to let them know that this item is criminalized and you have to watch it. So right now we are on the same page with them, and that is why I can tell you for free that the level of vandalism has abated a great deal, because the markets are aware that they dare not allow those items into the market.
And just as you said, you cannot completely eliminate crime, but you've done a great deal. That's what you're saying.
And beyond that, the activities of the Babambola as well was part of the things we proposed to the minister. That these guys, I don't know of what economic value they have to the FCT. That's number one. Number two, the fact that they go about the city center, which harbors, the seats of government, which harbors, different foreign missions and all of that. We need to preserve the aesthetics of the FCT, and having them roam around, aside from the criminal nature and the evil they perpetrate, there needs to be a control measure. And we also propose that the activities be banned within the city center and the suburb. And this has also been implemented.
But we see them around, especially the outskirts of Abuja. We still see Babambola moving from one place to another, picking scraps and all that. And some of them, just as you said, move into buildings, enclosed houses, and people that are not around. Maybe some of them have gone to the offices, so their places
the level at
still
which they
from them
run it has
reduced. Okay.
drastically.
Okay.
If you look around the metropolis, that's reduced drastically, and the suburbs as well. But this is an ongoing effort, and like I said, we will continue to try until we get to our final.
Okay, now
destination point.
before we go on break, I know that every noble venture has its own challenges. What challenges do you face in the task of dealing with insecurity, especially ensuring that the safety of life and property in the FCT is assured?
Well, one of the fundamental challenges we have, aside from work tools, is support and cooperation of the people. For every work you do, security agencies, we thrive on information and intelligence. But I discovered that a lot of our people are skeptical, about relating with the security agencies. They are unsure of their, I think they are, of the level of protection, and that has really affected us, because if you don't give us information, we will have nothing to work with.
In fact, before you go on, we have a message here. Someone says, I'm Antonia from Wawa. In case there is a problem, this is a WhatsApp message. In case there is a problem, how can we reach you in Abuja if we see something happening? And will you hide my identity if I report someone to you? So what's the channel of reporting a suspected crime to the NSCDC in the FCT?
All right, thank you very much. And I thank God that is what I was just about to happen. We have our emergency lines, where we receive information, discreetly, as the case may be. For us, we're not really interested in who you are or your personality.